All right, so I'm joined by a very special guest tonight. His name is Vinny Gregory. He's a wide receiver / kick returner for the Duke City Gladiators of the Indoor Football League. He's had a very interesting start to his career. We're just getting to a little bit of it off camera. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and give you guys all the details as we run through it. Vinny, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I definitely cannot complain. Once again, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun to look into your career so far, and I'm looking forward to hearing your answers to some of these questions.
Appreciate you having me, bro.
Absolutely. So I typically start from the beginning of any player's career because I'm always interested to hear what drew you to football. So I'm curious, what age did you get involved in the sport, and what actually inspired you to start playing football?
I started at 8 years old. So I started I feel like that's like the average age if you've really been playing a long time. And I got uncles that played, and I got some family that's with a background in it. And I mean, I was always fast, and I was playing other sports like baseball and everything. And just the fact that there's a sport out there where you can go hit somebody and can't get in trouble, you know what I mean? That's what definitely drew me in. And I was a big LaDainian Tomlinson fan, so.
Okay, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
Very nice. So with that being said, while you were in high school, you played primarily running back. Did that have to do with LaDainian Tomlinson?
Yeah, for sure. I wore his number in Little League too, number 21. I had the LaDainian Tomlinson cleats too, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, if you watched football during that era, LaDainian Tomlinson was the best in the game. I mean, he could catch, he could run. I mean, he was just a beast. So definitely don't blame you there. But as we were talking about, you were a senior in high school at Amherst. You end up touching the ball 108 times as a running back. You collected 936 yards of total offense while also adding another 116 on kick returns, just kind of showcasing your versatility to the world. You also played defense. You had 32 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, and 2 PBUs. Do you believe you would be where you're at today if it wasn't for your amazing senior season?
Nah, definitely not, because I transferred to Amherst from St. Joe's, which is a top private school here in Buffalo, and I had to leave for my grades. I mean, and I missed half my junior year. So, even though I was on pace to have a good junior year, just missing that is huge, especially when that's your most important season. So having that big senior year and putting up good numbers, and that definitely helped me to get the opportunity to go play college ball, because the stats just weren't looking right until that senior year, and it was a blessing to get that opportunity.
100%. So in high school, you played running back and strong safety, as we mentioned, 2 positions that you no longer really play at the IFL level. I was quite surprised to find that you didn't get used in the passing game as much as I would have expected, given your current position of wide receiver. What led to your transition away from running back and to wide receiver full time?
So my senior year, we were kind of running that double wing offense, and then we would go into spread sometimes. And we had a solid quarterback, but our quarterback broke his ankle. So we had our kicker, who was he was an amazing kicker. He started at Ohio State, and he was a solid quarterback, but we just didn't really throw it as much after. That's why I only had 150 yards receiving or something. That's why I had 900 something rushing my senior year. But it's just we ran that double wing way more. And then when I went to freshman year of college at JUCO at Erie Community College, we were doing that double wing again. So I was playing a little running back, but we would go into the spread a lot more. And then sophomore year, we went full spread, and that's when I went full receiver, and I just realized we didn't have that good of a line. I mean, I was running really good routes at the time, and I just felt and we had a good quarterback, and I was just it was just a better fit, I felt.
I would agree. I mean, I think that we saw somebody recently in Cavante Turpin that showed that, while you have that ability to run the ball, you might be able to, do a little bit more damage in the passing game, given your speed.
Exactly.
So during college, you bounced around a little bit, just starting at your collegiate career with Erie Community College, a JUCO program. During your 2016 season, you helped lead your team to a 7-3 record, catching a pass in every game that season. What were you able to or how were you able to be so consistent with the Cats that year?
We had a team that year, man. Like, we were stacked, and we just I had a quarterback who's from Buffalo. It's my brother. He actually just won the championship in the NAL for the Albany Empire. And so, like, me and him were like that. We just had that Brady Wes Welker connection. And, like, I led the team in reception and catches and yards that year. And with JUCO, like, I would be like, you got 6 solid guys that are getting the ball, like, they all trying to get out of JUCO and get to the university. But, like, we still, like, we just had the connection. Like, we won games off of just feeding me last second. And, like, or he'll just tell me, Vinny, go left corner. And I'm just running to the other side. He's going to throw that thing up, and he knows I was coming down with it, or he was going to find me. So, like, definitely, like, the connection we had and just being around a good team and all the hard work we put in the off season, like, that led to some good seasons at ECC.
Very nice. So your owner, Gina, is turning in. She says, I love Vinny. Obviously, you echoed those sentiments off camera. So why don't you go ahead and talk to us about the ownership in Duke City and what you like so much about it there?
Oh, Gina's the best, without a doubt. Like I was saying earlier, so Gina, she's had my back ever since I got hurt. Like, she stuck with me the whole time instead of being like, you know what I mean? Like, they brought me in. They already re-signed me as soon as they could because they'd seen the work I put in the offseason, and they know I'm going to come back stronger. Like, I'm going to punch adversity in the face. So she just stuck with me. And the way she puts us in the community and gets us to, like, I've never really been in the community like that. We're in the community nonstop, helping out at schools, helping out at events, teaching kids football. And, like, that's all from her, just getting our name out there and getting our program out there. And, like, I just have a lot of respect for her, and she's been great.
Absolutely. Same here. I mean, she seems like she has the right idea on how to run a team, and it seems like it shows up with the players that stick around, like yourself.
Yes, sir. And she's tough too. So it's just cool having a tough owner like that.
Absolutely. I imagine she goes to bat for her players quite often.
Hell yeah.
Definitely. So after 2 seasons at ECC, you transferred to Edinburgh University. This ended up resulting in a bit of an adjustment for you. You went from catching a pass in every game to not logging a statistic in 2017. How did you adjust going from one of the clutch performers at ECC to kind of fighting for playing time at EU?
So when I first got to Edinburgh University, I was starting, like, right away off the bat, and I was going through all the camp starting, and I got 3 quad contusions just from the knee to the leg nonstop, and I was playing through it. So it wasn't even like, oh, like, I wasn't playing, like, I got hurt, and then I tried playing through it. And I had 2 all-conference wide receivers that were their positions were locked. And then behind me, because I was starting at the time, the people I had behind me were a West Virginia transfer and a St. Francis University transfer. So I knew if I left the field, like, I know what's coming. Like, they're going to take that spot. I mean, they definitely could play themselves. So I ended up fighting through it, keeping my spot. But then I just had to come out. Like, I had to give my leg some rest. It was already a month without healing, and I just was not able to really run on it. I was taping it up like crazy, wasn't working. And then I came out, and I wanted a red shirt. And then when I wanted a red shirt, my coach kept throwing me in for, like, a special teams at the end of the game. I don't even know why I was doing that because I was supposed to red shirt. And I lost my whole junior year because of that. And then I was trying to, like, fight to get the eligibility back because I wasn't even in the games. And, like, it made no sense, and the coach wasn't supporting it. So that's when I was like, I just got to dip out of here. It was just a terrible process going there. Which I should have done was follow my quarterback from ECC. He went to Bethel, and I had a scholarship offer from them. And for some reason, I just didn't go there. I wanted to go to the biggest school with the best record because I had D1 offers out of JUCO, but I didn't have the grades for it. So I had to make the best of my situation after Edinburgh. I can't hear you.
Sorry about that.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, you put it very, very aptly that, you know, when you're facing a situation like that and you're the guy that came from the small school, it's tough. I mean, you have to be on the field, like you said, even if you're not 100%. So I admire that you played through the injury, and it's too bad that they didn't approach that in a better manner, because they could have had a hell of a player on their roster for years to come if they just redshirted you for at least another 2 seasons.
Yeah, it was confused. It was almost like I got on the coach's bad side, like, once I got hurt, which made no sense because I came back strong as hell, killed it in spring ball, and then it was just like it was kind of just like pushed me to the side, and I was balling. I was doing all the right things, and I'm not one to complain. It's just that school wasn't the right fit, so I had to switch out. I mean, when you can't, you can do as much as you can, but if they're not rocking with you, you gotta switch it up.
100%. So we got another comment. Rick says Gina's the best owner in the IFL. She might be. I mean, it sounds like her players seem to think so.
Yeah, no doubt.
So talk to me about more or less what you wanted or what you got out of Buffalo State and what appealed to you when you transferred to Buffalo State.
So when I transferred to Buffalo State, when I found out like I couldn't get my red shirt back, I found out going into my senior year, my coach was still like acting like that. Like I could go ball in every practice. I was doing my thing too. Like he just wasn't rocking with me after the injury. So when I literally left Buffalo, I left during camp, and I called up one of my coaches, and I was like, hey, if I transfer over there, like you can get me into the school and everything. So I called him up, and I literally dipped out from Edinburgh. It's only a 2-hour drive to Buffalo State. I went and met up with the coaches that day, like literally after practice at Edinburgh. Met up with the coaches, got accepted into school, and then within 5 days, I was practicing with the guys. And within 6 days, I stole one of the starters' spot, and I started on the 6th day because the first game was 6 days away after they just went through all camp. So when I got there, like, it seemed like they were on track to have a good season. But like once those games started hitting, I just wasn't getting the ball as much. I was playing outside receiver when I was the best slot in that whole conference without a doubt. And they had me outside kind of being the runoff guy, you know what I mean? Like they got their guys that have been there for 4 years. They're just feeding the ball. The quarterback was like the quarterback for our receiver in high school. So he would just look one way throwing the ball. And like we were losing games because of it. But fortunately, I mean, I got the little film I got from them. I mean, I made what I could do with it, and like I had a lot of connections after, and like people knew I could play. Like I didn't get the stats I wanted, but they knew what I could do. So when I got my film, I just got into the Dream Bowl after that combine, and I was able to get into UB's pro day, and like just get like climbing up the ladder because I knew if I got in front of scouts, like I'm good. Like I'm gonna get my opportunity without a doubt. Like I know my last 2 years been rough, but I know like once you see me in person running routes, like it's over with. So I just kept getting opportunities after that.
Definitely. So you in that season, as we talked about, you started hot, and unfortunately the team just flustered, it seemed like. So you had 10 games, logging 12 catches for 136 yards and a touchdown. Again, doing the most with what you got, but unfortunately it was not nearly enough for what you deserve in terms of skill level. But this time in Buffalo proved to be helpful, as it more or less kind of helped lead to a tryout with the Bills. What was that experience like for a Bills fan like yourself?
So that was crazy because, like I said, I went to the Dream Bowl, I got invited to the Dream Bowl, which is a combine / all-star game for the top FCS D1, D2, and D3 players in the country. So like I was getting a little bit of looks there, but they were more focused on the big names. So then another opportunity came up to go catch for Sam Castronova, the quarterback for Albany, my JUCO quarterback. Opportunity came up to just go catch for him at the UB Pro Day. And I wasn't able to be in the drills, like the 40s, the shuttle. I wasn't able to do that because you need 2 NFL scouts to say they want to see you if you're a D2 or D3 guy. So Sam had them. I didn't. So I'm just catching routes from him at the end. And at the end of the pro day, Brandon Bean, the general manager for the Bills, he's like pointing over at me. He's asking questions about me. And he calls me over, and he was just telling me how he liked what he's seen and that, like, to keep working and all that. And then I get an email the next week and a call from the Bills scouts like, hey, we like what we've seen. Like, congratulations on your career. We want to see what else you got. So they invited me to the Bills tryout. And that was smooth, bro. Like, I killed it. Like, they loved me. They knew the wide receiver coach for the Bills is a 5'7" little white dude. Like, it couldn't have been like, I was like, oh, they're going to rock with me. So I got Coach Dable behind me, like telling me to stem in and like hit this dig route smooth, and I'm making diving catches, and like their coaches are jumping up and down, like chest bumping me. Like I thought I was getting signed, but they literally signed Cole Beasley that day, like or the day before, like literally, like I'm talking when I'm getting measured at the tryout, they Cole Beasley's looking at the weight room, getting a visit around the facility because he just got in. So my opinion was just like they went with the vet instead of going with the new rookie. You know what I mean?
That's rough. That's very rough. I mean, Cole Beasley was a hell of a slot receiver, but I think at that time he was nearing the end of his career. Correct?
He definitely did a lot of things for us. Like he balled out for the Bills for those 3 years, and I got to train with him too. He's definitely legit. But I mean, I'm happy I did my thing at it because I know I was going against Penn State receivers, Syracuse receivers, UB receivers. I was going against all the Bills or all the guys that the Bills want to see try out within like the East Coast area or like New York type near it. And I was competing with all of them, and I was catching more balls than them. I was making bigger catches. I was running smoother routes, and like that's what really gave me a confidence. Like, yeah, like all I need is opportunity. Like I can do this.
Absolutely. I would have 100% agree on that fact. So you then go into to compete in the 2019 XFL showcases and attempt to latch on there. Unfortunately, you end up going unsigned. How did you feel about your performance there at the time?
So if I keep it real with you, like my Bills performance went way smoother. So this is the 2019 XFL, not the 2019 2020 XFL. It's not the 2022. So this wasn't it was like all these players you see getting the XFL draft invites and all this right now. This was not happening. Like I'm talking, it was only guys who just got cut from the NFL getting invited to the combines. Only like big name D1 guys, and only of the top of the top D2, D3, NAIA guys. And then out of nowhere, the day before the combine, the showcase, I got a call from my agent saying, "Can you make it to Tampa tomorrow?" So I made it, but you know what I mean. It was just like it was unexpected. It wasn't as ready. Like I thought, all right, I just been training, going crazy with all these combines for 6 months. I'm chilling, like just a couple of weeks, and then I get that call the day before. They didn't tell me wait for the day before. They were just like, "Hey, can you make it?" I was like, "I'll be there," and it went smooth. Like I ran good times. And I did get my thing in one-on-ones and everything, but it's just I know how much better it could have been if like I knew I was going to that, but it was smooth.
Gotcha.
And they only ended up drafting all the players that just got cut from when they made the 53-man roster cuts. They just signed all the players that got like within those, not because it go from 90 to 53 or whatever.
Yeah.
They were just signing all those players.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that we've talked about on this channel at length. I mean, when you do the math, I mean, you're talking about 8 teams. It works out to about 500 players. That's less than what gets cut for NFL final cuts. So basically, they can fill the whole league with former NFL guys if they want, which is basically what they did. I mean, if you look back, I mean, guys like PJ Walker, Matt McGloin, Brandon Silvers, a bunch of guys who had been in the NFL before, or they had tryouts, so they were known to these leagues. So I sympathize with you on that side. And it's actually something, it's kind of funny you bring that up because I actually just commented on one of Jen Welter's posts earlier today because she was saying something about player highlight videos. And she's like, I want you to put substance in there, not sizzle. And I'm like, okay, that's understandable to a certain extent, but guys like yourself need to set themselves apart, correct? So, I mean, you're going up against D1 players who are known, former NFL guys. You have to do something to set yourself apart from them. So that sizzle has to be in that tape. Otherwise, they're dismissing you before they even give you a shot. So I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit biased on that because I don't feel the guys that are in the indoor game get the looks that they really should. Because in my mind, and I'm probably going to anger some people by saying this, but you guys playing indoor football are a hell of a lot tougher than the guys playing outdoor. And I don't mean any offense to anybody.
Nah, real talk though. Like that's facts.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing on, like an inch of carpet or, turf above concrete bricks. You got 2x4 built walls that you're getting hit into or over, and
that aren't soft.
Exactly. I mean, it's stuff that fans don't really consider, but at the same time, I mean, you guys are a different breed. So, I mean, respect to all indoor football players. I truly believe that this XFL IFL partnership, if it truly comes to fruition, is going to be great for you guys, for XFL in general, and I really hope that it leads to more looks for men like yourself.
Yeah, that'd be smooth because, like I was saying, in 2019, 2020, that XFL was only the big names, but this one with the Rock, like he wants the underdog. So it's cool that like they're starting to open their eyes a little.
100%. You hit the nail on the head. The Rock was one of those guys at one point, so that's the type of players he's chasing.
We had Vince McMahon as the owner in 2019, 2020, so a little different.
Yeah, exactly. Totally different story. Vince McMahon's all about that wow factor. And yeah, the money, exactly. So after this tryout, you end up signing with the Carolina Cobras for the 2020 season, which unfortunately was canceled due to COVID. I'm curious, a lot of players tend to dismiss the indoor game. They don't really give it the time of day. What led to you ultimately deciding that the indoor game was your best opportunity?
So when I signed at the time, there wasn't XFL, there wasn't USFL, and the CFL. They can only have like 12 Americans on each team, so or whatever the number is. So I mean, I went to a couple of CFL trials. Those were money grabs. Even though we would get the money waived most of the time, they just were there to collect that money from the people, from the 200 kids going, and then say, "Yeah, we'll look at you, even if you killed it." So I had a buddy playing for the Philadelphia Soul, and it was catching my attention, and I wasn't done playing, and that the arena was and still is the league to like get looked at for the NFL, and my college last 2 years of college were a little rough, so I feel like I got connections, like the guys are trying to get me to the CFL, like XFL. I just need a little more film, so arena is like a stepping stone to me, still is. So that's what really caught my attention. Keep playing football, get paid, and real competition, and get a chance to get looked at after.
100%. And I mean, that's essentially what this league is here for. Jean has talked about at length that she wants to send players to the next level. That's her goal. So, I mean, I'm sure the coaches say the exact same thing. I mean, you obviously want to keep your best players, but it's also beneficial if the best players are moving up, because then the best free agents are going to come back in to replace them.
Thanks.
So, unfortunately, what would have been your rookie season ends up canceled due to COVID. How did you find out you were being robbed of your rookie season?
So, the season and when COVID started were like right around the same time. What was it, like March?
Yeah, basically.
I think that's when camp starts for the NAL. So we they just kept pushing it back. Like 1 month, oh, we're gonna see what's up. 2 months, we're gonna see what's up. I think it might even got to like 3 or 4 months. Like, oh yeah, we're just playing late. Like it wasn't anybody's fault. It's just we didn't know what was going on. They didn't even know how serious it was yet. And they eventually just like, yeah, it's canceled. And we're like, damn, because I already waited a year of going through all the combines, trials, all that didn't work out. So I got a year going around waiting for my season, and got canceled. But I stayed positive, just went and grinded and waited for the next opportunity to come up after it was all over.
Definitely. That's one of the things that I wanted to highlight in your story in general is your determination. You have all these setbacks and you just continue to keep pushing, keep looking for the next opportunity, which in my eyes is very inspiring. So more power to you for the fact that you just keep pushing. I mean, that's inspiring. Like I said, I mean, it's awesome to see.
I appreciate that. Without doubt, I mean, you can't stop me. I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of, and especially when I got the ones in my corner, I got NFL guys constant. Like I got a couple of friends in the NFL always telling me like, keep going, and even if they weren't telling me that, I'd keep going. So, I mean, until the wheels fall off, until I do what my goals are set to be. Like I'm gonna keep it rolling.
Love it, love it. So, unfortunately, after the COVID season, you end up with the Jacksonville Sharks, which kind of ended up being an ugly situation overall. Without putting words in your mouth, do you care to tell us about this situation?
Nah, I don't. So, like, after COVID happened, the Carolina coaches switched up. I was signed to Anthony Payton, who was their Carolina coach for a little bit, and switched up to Coach Rez.
Billy Beck.
At the time, it was Coach Rez, who's a great guy. I like Coach Rez, but like he wasn't the one who really signed me. So like, and I already did that. I messed that up in college. When I went to Edinburgh, I had a coaching switch when I went in. My coach that recruited me was Coach Lustig, who's the associate head coach of Vanderbilt right now, and he left when I got there. So like, I didn't want to fall into that situation again, and I left because I just didn't feel like I was his guy. I mean, I'm all about earning my stuff, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if you rock with somebody, like, it's just different. So I got a message from Jacksonville. They're like, hey, we really like your work ethic. We like what you do. Like, we'd like to sign you. And then just the big program caught my eye, and, like, it seemed like they were more interested, and I signed, and I was signed for, like, 6 months. And then I was told to pull up early, and I pulled up early to go train, and I'm training with the guys. I let the coaches know I'm there. And we're getting good work in, and I get a text saying, and I got a call a week ago saying that they took me off the roster, which made no sense because I didn't get no call. I found out they're bringing in an NFL guy and they're just trying to like make up for it. It's all good. It's not. I don't got no hate towards them or anything. But and then they told me they like try to act like they took me off the roster and it was all good. And I was like, all right. They called me later. They're like, never mind, go to camp, act like everything's normal. So I go to camp. We only do routes. We don't do one-on-ones. We don't do pads. Like we don't even have like a full practice. That NFL guy came in and they released me after being signed for 6 months and not even getting a practice in. So, I mean, that was definitely a bump in the road. That one hit me more than other ones just because I didn't get my opportunity yet, and it's been so long since I got to really get on the field with COVID and then the combine chase. But we shook back.
No doubt. I mean, with all that being said, I mean, how did the opportunity with the Duke City Gladiators come around?
So after that, I mean, that's the NEL, and the IFL starts early before the NEL. So all the teams that wanted me were in the IFL, and they already started, went through camp, about to have their first game. Like they got their guys. That's just how the situation is. So once I got cut, like I didn't have teams that were rocking with me anymore because the IFL was already started. So I just kind of like put my head down, grinded, and had to overcome the adversity. And that next thing you know, my agent was like, "Hey, Duke City's rocking with you." Like he said in my film, got my name out there, and I got a call like right away. Like right away, they were showing love, and then right when I got there, they were showing love, and it was just all smooth.
Very nice. Very nice. So talk to me about your first season in Duke City. What did you like about the season? I mean, the team.
At first, like it was just it's camp, so you're all competing, you're all hot headed at the time, like and everything. But as the season went on, especially like middle of the season, we became a family. Like those dudes are really like my brother. Like I've had teams where like we're not connected like that at all, but like when you got a family together and like you're playing for each other, you couldn't beat anybody, and like you can ball out, and just like the camaraderie we had, the work ethic. I had some ballers on my team, and we all made each other better every day. And like we didn't have anybody that wasn't a baller on our team. Like everybody could make plays. Everybody that they weren't playing on our team, they could be starting for another team. So like it was just cool being around a good group of guys that went to work every day and they like to have fun. But it was just my type of people.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, a lot of good guys on that team. We already talked to Greg Dent, also Nate Davis, both good dudes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Those are my guys.
Definitely. With the Gladiators, you are one of the younger offensive players. With that being said, I mean, Greg Dent, he's a veteran. Nate Davis, he's a veteran. So with that being said, how do you feel you have improved as a wide receiver playing around all these veteran guys?
Oh, like especially in the arena game, like I feel like I got years on some players just because I learned from some real vets. Like people don't realize, like, yeah, I didn't get on offense as much, but I didn't really get on offense. But I was behind Dello Davis, I was behind Greg Dent, I was behind Jared Elmore. These are like the top. All three were the top 5 receivers in the whole league. So I'm literally behind the best receiving core in the league, and I'm the next man up. You got DC Stoneham, who got hurt but baller, and I'm competing with Eric Swiftwater, dog. So like, and me and him would go at it with the younger guys, just competing. And like it just changed my game because I came in like Dent said when he was live with you, I'd be running into dudes. Like I was like, I didn't know how to do the motion. Like you can either make high motion easier for you, or you can make it harder for you. And I was making it harder. And then once middle of the season was coming, I was really starting to pick up on it, making big plays. And once I learned to stem and to make every route look the same, and how to read the safety and like how to match up with the guy that's either in motion on me or on the ball, like to time it out right. It just all was like flowing together so much because once you learn that game, you're good. And all they were doing was getting me better every day, and they were on me, man. They yell at me. So I'm the young dude for sure, but I appreciate it. And I was a sponge that soaked it all in.
Definitely. I'm quite a bit older than you, but I can relate. I'm the young guy at my job as well, so I get a little bit of that too. It's for the best though. You learn from the best, you become the best in my mind.
Bro. Like it's all love at the end of the day.
Absolutely. In my mind, they're yelling at you because they want to see you succeed. So
100%.
It makes perfect sense.
100%.
So talk to me about the adjustments you had to make going from the outdoor game to the indoor game.
So my problem, like playbook was fine. That wasn't my problem. just making plays, that comes natural and everything. But the stemming and the angles, and the timing was just different. It's just different. It's faster. It's like if you got a slant, I mean, depends. If you're running like, it depends what the guy's doing on the outside. If you're the inside guy, whether you got to bring your slant high, if you gotta come under the linebacker, you gotta go over him. It's just all angles and different timing and based off the play you're running. So it took me a minute. That slant took forever. I don't know why, but once I seen it, like I said, towards the middle of the season, it just like those angles and timing is what was getting me. And once I got that down, it just got so much more smoother.
Definitely. So talk to me about the adjustment in timing. I mean, the indoor game is so much more compact, so much faster moving. Was it kind of an adjustment for you to learn to move at that speed, or not necessarily move at that speed, but to react at that speed?
It's weird, man, because like Dent was saying in your video too, you don't gotta go 100 miles per hour, but you would think if you do, because it's smaller, like you're gonna get open. But you gotta almost like time out your running with the space you have and the time that the quarterback's gonna have the ball, because when you got a quarterback like Jason Serta running at you in practice, you gotta get rid of that thing. So like it's quick throws, but I like it because I like running my route, getting the ball. I don't like running my route, waiting, quarterback scrambling, throws it. Like when I run my route, I want to break off, feed me. So you know what I mean? So the timing was different. It's just faster, but also like more timed out. But I liked it.
Very nice. Very nice. I mean, I always think that from a wide receiver, cornerback, and quarterback perspective, I feel like the indoor game would only help you be better for the outdoor game eventually because of everything you have to learn, the timing, the reaction, all the stuff that you just spoke about. What do you think about that?
No, I agree. Like especially like even like I mean like a kick return is like a punt return outside down there. Like it's just they're closer up on you, they're flying at you like that more than like a kick return. You got more space, and then on offense, it's just making guys miss, having better like focus, like just like reaction. You gotta have your head on a swivel. Like you gotta be ready. Like you're gonna be getting that ball faster, and you got dudes that are gonna be right on you. Like the amount of times I really focused on in traffic catches. Like that's not something I really was. You don't get that as much. You don't get the always consistent in traffic catches, and that's something I was actually really good at this past year. Like in practice, like that was my thing. Like I was more likely to catch a crazy in traffic catch than like sometimes I don't drop it like that, but like just stupid things like that. So I liked how I feel like it would make me different. I feel like I would go crazy outside just because of the space.
I would agree. And honestly, I think coaches are discounting you guys. I think at some point they're going to understand that you guys are basically getting an expedited training that you wouldn't get on the outdoor level, because first of all, you're getting playing reps. Second of all, it's a faster game. And third of all, you're dealing with a whole different timing of everything. So I personally think you'd actually probably tear it up on the outdoor level.
Hey, we'll get back out there.
I have no doubt. So you re-signed with the Duke City Gladiators for the 2023 season. What do you like about the team, what the team offers for this season? I mean, do you ultimately see the potential for a championship this year?
Yeah, I think so, especially with like the guys we're bringing back. They were just all those more like the younger guys that are just ready to go and they're hungry and they know how to move. And like if we can get our quarterback back, I mean, because I know he's getting looked at by the XFL and everything. And then we got the receivers. Like we're stacked at receiver. We're good. We're about to go crazy there. We got the players for sure. We got the guys returning that we need, and I know like our coaches will bring in some dogs, and I mean as long as we represent Duke City like they have in the past, we always got a shot at the championship for sure.
100%. So we got a couple comments. I'm gonna run through them real quick. Matthew Avila says 2023 IFL MVP custom suit on me. This guy has drive. Great young man. Love you, brother.
That's family right there. That man actually is like really introduced me to Duke City. He's done a lot for me, and like I got nothing for love for Matt. He's a great guy.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate you putting Vinny on that roster so we could watch him play last season.
Yes, sir.
And then Rick says, "Yo, Vinny, anchor bar or Duff's for wings?"
What's he know about Buffalo? So those are the two most famous spots in Buffalo. That's what we're known for is our wings. But Duff's all day. I'm literally like 15 feet from Duff's right now.
Really?
It's literally behind my apartment.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, I guess I'll have to take a trip out to Buffalo and hit up Duff's and check out some wings because, man, that sounds good right now.
Oh, they're insane. The best.
Really. Off camera, you spoke very highly of the Gladiators, and that was one of the things that made me want to talk to you so much. I mean, you generally hear players talk, highly about the teams they're playing on, but it just seems so genuine coming from you. But what is it about the way the team is ran that gives you such a high opinion of the Gladiators in general?
We just got that grit, and like we'll say it even like when we're like huddling up. It's just they move how I move. Like I like it. It feels like home, like away from home. So like when we're like huddled up, Coop will be like, I don't want to hear none of that corny BS. like just keep it real. Have that dog in you. And just come to work. And if you don't come to work, then get out. You feel me? So it's just, I love the work ethic. I like how early we are in the morning, even though I hate it sometimes. Like, it's just, I like being in the community. I just like being around the guys. And we go at it. Like, we go at it like brothers, like nonstop, like all the time. But it's like that brotherly love. So it's all good.
Absolutely. So I got another question in the comments. Feel free to pass on this one if you don't want to get any hot water. But
okay.
Which quarterback would you want back, Ramon or Nate?
Who asked that?
That's Rick again.
I plead the fifth.
I had a feeling that was going to be the answer. You can't get the guy in hot water, man. Those are his quarterbacks.
Yeah, those are both my guys, both ballers, and they know what it is. I don't want to stir nothing up.
Yeah, there's nothing to stir up. In my personal opinion, that's 1A and 1B. And I mean, you can put them in whatever order you want. That's up to you.
That versus the rookie, and they both have done their thing and they've been like that. Two dogs.
100%. Two of the best quarterbacks in the league by far.
Without a doubt.
So we've talked about the ownership. We've talked about the team. Now I want to talk about the venue. You call home the Rio Rancho Center. And they offer to you obviously a pretty good fan base because we're getting pretty good support on every one of these interviews. But with that being said, how often are you guys playing in front of a packed house? And tell me about some of the interactions you've had with the fan base over your time there.
So at first it was slow. It seemed like it was kind of just didn't seem that packed. But there's also a lot of people in the press boxes. But then like when we started having events, like I think there was like cheaper beers or just cheaper tickets or something. Like even though they were never that expensive, people just kept flowing in. And then once we started winning, and we were having some exciting games, like the game against Massachusetts or anything, fans just kept flowing in. And even when it was light, they were loud, bro. Like we have some diehard fans, first of all, like diehard, 100%. And they would just be you'd be looking around. It doesn't look that filled, but you can just hear them. Like they are loud. And after every game, we have all the kids. We have a lot of kids come out. We set up a table. We sign autographs for all the kids. So that's just being a part of the community again and everything. And that was cool. Like makes you really feel like a professional, getting to like see the looks on the kids' faces and how excited they are to see you and everything. So that was always cool. And then towards the end, I think it was the NAZ game, I was hurt by this time. But man, that was packed. Like the NAZ game, we got to get every game like that because I'm rocking with that. I love hearing like the fans that hyped. I love seeing it that filled. And it's just, I think the problem is that Rio Rancho is like 35 minutes away from most people. It's in the middle of nowhere in the desert, besides Rio Rancho people. But we do a good job of handing out flyers, and Gina has us getting the name out there and telling people to come to games. And I think next year, like especially after a pretty solid season and the games they've seen, I think fans are going to be flowing in next year.
I would agree. I mean, I think you guys are only on the up and up for 2023. We got another comment. Your favorite Uncle Joe here. No doubty Vince will ball this year. Never met anybody who works as hard as him.
That's my guy, Uncle Joe.
Definitely.
I get the football genetics from him.
There you go. So we watched the USFL this year. Did you follow along this year?
Yeah, we were in season at the time, but I mean, I kept up with like a lot of the players and everything.
Gotcha. So obviously there's one player that stands above the rest currently that we all like to talk about, and that's Cavante Turpin, because as we know, he's all tearing it up on the Cowboys right now.
Oh, yeah.
With that being said, you and Turp share a lot of different skill sets that make sense. I mean, you're basically a spitting image of him. Same size, same speed. You can run the ball, you can return, you're a receiver. Basically everything he provides to a team, you got. So with that being said, is he somebody that you look to as inspiration to keep going or to keep yourself motivated, I guess, because he made it out of the IFL at one point?
His story for sure. Like that's definitely inspirational. I mean, like we're like the same age, so I don't like look up to him or anything. But his story I look up to for sure. But like he's a baller. I've seen him. That kid can play without a doubt. And like to go from the IFL, and I think he went to the FCF, and then USFL. He was the MVP, I think.
Yep.
And to go to Dallas, just like that journey, like I respect the hell out of this. I respect the hell out of him and his game, just because people don't realize it's a process, dude. Like it's a lot of no's and it's a lot of waiting and it's a lot of knowing what you can do and trusting in yourself. And that dude's a baller, and I definitely respect him, and I wish the best for him in his career.
Definitely. I was just kind of curious if you had followed along. Like I said, I mean, you guys are very similar players. So, I mean, if he can make it.
I follow him on Instagram and everything. Like, he a baller.
There you go. Definitely. So we're nearing the end of the interview. I got 2 more questions for you. The first one is, you've played running back, you've played wide receiver, strong safety, you returned kicks. However, during your career, you've primarily played special teams. In 2022, you collected 6 tackles and 14 returns for 236 yards. With some of the bigger names on your team departing in free agency, do you see a larger role on offense for yourself in 2023?
Yeah, 100%. I'm expecting, like, especially with the guys we got returning, our receiver core, like, where the next one's up is the unit. Like, we got Dent, we got Swift, like we got Coop. Like we're gonna be balling. We're just gotta come in and do our thing. And I just gotta come back from this injury, and I don't gotta question them. I don't gotta doubt in my mind that like I'm coming back stronger. I'm coming back faster. I'm coming back like this. I almost needed this injury. I need to get woke. Like I'm always working hard. I'm always doing my thing, but I just needed that. Like I had a couple family things. I had a couple with the Jacksonville, so just had to get my head back right. And I'm woke. Like I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to ball out this season. I need that ball, and I'm ready to bring a championship back to Duke City with all my brothers.
Absolutely. And with that being said, Gina says Duke City Gladiators will be in Vegas in 2023. And for that, she means the championship game. If you're not aware, championship game is held every year in Vegas now. So definitely an interesting choice by the IFL. I'm sure it makes it very exciting for players.
Vegas is sick. This stadium's awesome.
Definitely. I mean, it looks like one of the better venues out there for sure. So finally, my last question of the night. What are your goals as an individual in 2023? And do you believe that you guys will be competing for the championship in 2023?
So my goals, come back from this injury, ball out, help my team win, make a lot of plays on offense, kick return, kick off. Like I want to be in the game balling, whatever I can. I want to get the ball. I want to do my thing, help my team win. And the main goal, get a championship. I knew what it was like to be in that playoff run. Even though I wasn't playing, I seen it. And like, I think we could beat any team without a doubt. Like I don't think there's any team, even the teams we lost to and didn't beat. Like there was always a point where they knew what was up. They knew we could play. And I think they're gonna see us in Vegas. We just gotta show up and do our thing.
Definitely. Matthew pointed this out, and I thought this was awesome to see. This man got hurt and still went to 5 a.m. practice the next day after his surgery. That's insane dedication, man. I can't believe that you would even consider that, but that's awesome. I mean, that just shows your team first.
I was taking a pre-workout before the games just to be crazy for the games and height.
There you go.
I was hurt.
There you go. So with that being said, the interview is pretty much over. Is there anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to talk about before you get out of here?
Just shout out Duke City. Appreciate all you guys. Shout out Gina. Shout out Matt. Shout out Coach Greg. Shout out the whole team. I appreciate all of you. And shout out the family, my mom, pops. And let's get to it this year. You know what I mean? Let's ball out.
No doubt. I can't wait to see you on the field this year. Best of luck in the rest of your rehab. I know you're working hard. I just saw all the videos on your Instagram. So, I mean, definitely expect you to come back better than ever.
I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you a lot. Appreciate you having me.
Definitely. Have a great night, man, and definitely keep in touch. I'll probably have you back on right about the time you guys are in the championship. How does that sound?
Good,
cool.
Brother.
All right. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. With that being said, Gina does have a comment that I want to point out. The schedule release on Friday. So this is going to be very interesting to see how the 2023 season lines up. There's a lot of good teams that are returning a lot of good players and made a ton of moves this offseason so far. And we still got a whole offseason to go. I mean, there could be a lot of change. You know, Frisco may have been the best team in the regular season this year, but that could dramatically change in 2023, and I expect it to. There's a lot of teams that are up and coming. I like what Duke City's doing. I'm a big fan of the moves that Bay Area's made. I think that there's going to be a lot of competition for that championship in 2023, but I am definitely looking forward to seeing Duke City compete for a championship in 2023. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I thoroughly enjoyed researching Vinny's career. I mean, he's a guy that, like I said, he just stays determined. There's no stopping him. He'd run through a brick wall to play football, it seems. And at times, I have no doubt that it wouldn't stop him in the slightest. And that's the kind of thing that I like on this channel. I like to highlight on this channel. One of the big reasons I do this is because I've got a couple sons myself. And I want to show them that no matter what, hard work will get you where you want to be. And Vinny's proof of that. He may not be at the ultimate goal yet in the NFL, but I know it's only a matter of time because of how hard that man works and how amazing he is on the field. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one, which will actually be tomorrow. Little breaking news coming from the Duke City Gladiators. So a new player has been signed. And with that being said, you guys will have to tune in tomorrow to see exactly who. And I'll tell you right now, this man will do his best to help bring a championship to Duke City in 2023. So definitely tune in tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. We got another signing announcement coming. And like I said, this one's from the Duke City Gladiators. So if you're a Gladiators fan, you definitely don't want to miss this because this move has not been announced anywhere yet. This is coming from the player himself. We knew about it about a week ago. We were waiting for it to be official. And it sounds like it became official today. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys all tomorrow night at the same time, 7:30 p.m. right here on YouTube. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe, click those notifications, like and comment, and you're automatically entered into our drawing for $150 in sports memorabilia of your choice. So with that being said, I will catch you guys tomorrow. And Rick, I'm sorry, buddy, but it is not Ramon. I apologize. Tried to get him on for you. Not having the best of luck. You know, maybe if you got a little in there, you can try and coax him on here. But so far, no luck. And I have a strict, I do not push players policy. If they say no, I don't push it. That is what it is. I mean, there's enough players out here. There's enough coaches out here. There's enough people to talk to that I'm not going to bother somebody to get them on the channel. That's simply respect. These guys are giving me respect by coming on the channel, letting me tell their stories. So I feel it's a mutual move, and it's something that I have to do to continue to grow as a channel. Because if these guys think that they're completely disrespected by the fact that I'm bothering them into an interview, it's not something that I would want to do. And yes, Rick, Ramon has said that he is not interested in coming on at this particular moment. So with that being said, I'm not going to question it. That is completely his choice. Again, if he comes on later in the future, cool. If not, no worries. I got plenty of more Duke City Gladiators players to talk to, and I'm sure you'll be tuning in for all of them. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.